So the first area we're going to look at in the listings area is let's take a look at manage listings. So going into manage listings and clicking on all listings, this will take us into all of our listings in the website, and they're broken down at the top into different categories. So we have our actives, our solds, expired, etc. So you can click through the different tabs. And there's a little bit of information here that we can take a look at. So on this listing here, we've got obviously the MLS number, price, style of home, etc. But one of the important things to look at is the auto imported category. And on this one here, it says yes, which is telling us that this listing was imported directly from the real estate board and is populated into the website. Now the property below has auto imported no, which means that this listing was manually added into the website. The reason that's so important to keep an eye on is that the auto imported listing is going to update with key details from the board. So status change, price change, things like that. In terms of the manual listing, that listing will need to update automatically. So you'll need to go in, and if there's a price change, update that information. If there's a status change, update that information. So very important to be aware that imported listings will update on their own. Manual listings, you will need to maintain that listing yourself. So let's take a look at this main listing. We've got the basic information or basic links at the bottom. We can edit the listing. We can view it online. You can delete the listing. You can duplicate it. You can add a feature sheet or create a feature sheet for it, create an HTML flyer, and under the More tab, you can change the status. You can access the listing statistics, and you can create an auto blog posting. Now, a few of these items will work on manually added listings. Some of them won't work on imported listings, such as delete. If I try to delete an imported listing, you cannot delete it. Imported listings you can't delete. They will just need to be updated to the appropriate status. If we were to try to delete a manually added listing, then yes, it will allow you to go in and delete that listing itself. So just something to keep in mind. Now, editing a listing, well, we'll edit this first listing. The editing details are exactly the same whether it's an imported listing or a manually added listing. So if we go and click on this imported listing, it takes us into our directly into the listing, and again we've got all the same tabs along the top that we looked at earlier, and then we also have our different sections that we can go through in different areas as well. So what we have here is the status, all this information as well. Very important to look at here is that why can't I edit any of the fields below? And the reason for that is that this is an imported listing. So what we try to do is keep everything in sync with the real estate board data in keeping with our restrictions that we are given by the real estate board in terms of having a data access feed. What we do allow you to do though is you can go in and make some changes to an imported listing, such as updating listing description. You can add more photos, you can add videos, virtual tours, documents, and links. So although we can't edit the main information, we can go in and change some other details if we want to enhance the listing a little bit. So we can go in here and we can update the description. We can go in and we can add a ribbon if we want. Sorry, let's go back there. I clicked on the wrong section. We can go and click on change photo ribbon. So this will allow us to go in and add our own custom ribbon if we want. So we can just type in what we want the ribbon to say, and then we can choose a color or add a custom color that matches more along the style that you're looking for. So we can update the ribbon. Again, we can update the description. And below we can also add feature list. So we can add a feature name and then also type in a description about it. So one thing that we can also do is we'll go over to the Photos tab, and here we can add additional photos. So we can upload more images. We can also just drag and drop images into the page. We can also edit the captions. We can put a caption on every photo, as well as we can drag and drop the photos wherever we want them to be. So you have full flexibility in reorganizing the photos the way that you want them to appear. The other item that you can do is you can disable automatic photos. So if you have higher resolution versions of these photos that you would rather add to the listing yourself, you can disable the automatic photos, and it will remove the auto added ones, and then will only display your manually added listings. If we turn that back off, then the automatic photos will be enabled. So you've got your choice there. If we go to videos and virtual tours, for your listing videos as well as your virtual tours, you can upload a video or tour directly from your computer. You can add embed code. So if you have embed code to embed it onto the listing, you can do that as well. Or you can also link into your YouTube account and just choose the video directly from YouTube if you choose. There's also an external virtual tour link. Some companies, when they do a virtual tour, will physically host the tour for you, and they'll provide you with a URL for that tour. You can paste that in here, and then that will generate a link for someone to click on and add the tour. There's also a documents and links. Here you can upload a document, so if there's maybe a floor plan that you want to have on the listing or some sort of certificate that you want to show, you can actually add that directly from your computer and add it directly into the listing. As well, you can add external links, so if you want to link a website to that listing, maybe it's a brand new home, it's a very well-known builder, and you want people to be able to click on the builder's website and view some of their information, you could add a link as well. We can go into the room section and simply go in and filter this. Well, not really filter this information, but this is an imported listing, so obviously this information's there already. But for a manually added listing, then you could go in and actually add this information so that it shows up on the page. We've got open houses, so you can go in and you can add a new open house. So you can simply go in, put in the information about the open house, the time, and then you can actually go in and tell it by using the calendars how long you want the open house to appear on the website for. So you've got that option as well. We can go in and customize. So one of the sections we have here is called reciprocity. So if this was a manually added listing, so say for example someone in your office said, hey, it's okay if you want to add this listing to your website to sort of beef up your inventory a little bit, you would want to flag that as a reciprocity listing so that people know that it's, even though it's on your site, it's not actually your listing. And then it also allows you to go in and add a disclaimer at the bottom if you want to. So that would be if you were adding a listing that's not yours. We also have custom sections, so you can go in and add a custom section title if you wanted to put in a little area about the location of the property or the background of the home, the history of it, whatever you think might be relevant, then you can actually add a custom section into the property as well. And last we have settings, SEO, and more. So you can go into your SEO settings, and if you want, you can add a custom listing title that will appear at the top of the page in the browser when someone clicks into this listing, and you can also add a custom listing description as well. One of the other options we have is custom categories. So we allow you to go in, and I've got a couple here. I've got condos, cottages, and rental home. You can actually create a new category that you can apply to a listing. So if you had, say for example, wanted to make a page about handyman specials or fixer-uppers, you could create a new category. We'll call this one handyman specials, and we'll add the category. So we have now added this category to this listing. Now what will happen is that once we create a page, what we can do is we can make a new page that is going to show all properties that only are included in a particular category. So by adding a custom category, you can actually create pages that pinpoint certain listings that you want to show. So you could have a page that only showed the handyman specials if that's what you wanted to do. So the custom categories are very, very handy to be able to do that. And we also have map settings. So every listing, you get the Google Street View, you have bird's eye view, and then we also have the schools and neighborhood places map. If you don't want those showing on a particular listing, you can turn them off here. Turning them off here will only affect this listing. When we get into the options in a little bit, I'll show you how you can go in and actually disable these maps for all of the properties on the website. So once you've gone in and made your settings, or your updated the settings and made any changes that you want, you can simply click Save Listing, and all the changes that we've just made will update on the listing on the website. So once we've done that, we can go through. This is still saving here, so this will just take a minute. And then what we can do is go back to all listings, and we'll be able to go in again and you'll be able to see those changes that you've made. So again, editing every listing is done the exact same way. There's no, depending whether it's a manual or an imported listing, everything is still available to you in terms of the layout. And obviously with the imported listings, there's some features that you can't edit, but you can still enhance the listing. Whereas a manually added listing, you have full access to all the different sections to update, change, and enhance the listing.